What's good, ladies and gents? Welcome to the MKO Pugilism Boxing channel, where we talk all things boxing. Remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, put the bell on all so that you can get notified the very second that we drop new material, new blogs on this channel. So without further ado, let's get into it. So this weekend, this Saturday, yesterday, just saw Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade defending his WBO middleweight world title versus Liam the Machine Williams from Wales. And yeah, what an interesting fight it was. Definitely had some drama, some ups and downs in there. So I'm just going to give you my take on this fight and how it went down. So yeah, as round one came out, Demetrius Andrade definitely came out firing. Andrade had a very fast start. Williams met him head on, and definitely I'd say Demetrius Andrade come out the better of the first round. While Williams was up for it, while Williams was willing and he was active, he was trying to pursue the fight. You could tell there was no hiding his tactics. He came there to put it on Demetrius Andrade, and that's exactly what he tried to do. But he ended up being the one on the end of some hurtful shots by Demetrius Andrade, who began to try the uppercuts and left hands very early in their fight and landed some heavy lever on Liam Williams in round one. And you could literally see that there was a point in which I think one of Andrade's shots just made Williams just stop, just stopped him in his tracks. And you could see that he was definitely, for my money at least, he looked like he was hurt in round one, and he did look like he could have possibly even gone down even from the very first round, because Andrade come out rapid, come out fast, and was landing some hurtful shots. So Williams, you could see, was definitely hurt in that round, and you know, he was relatively close, at least in my view, to going down. And as round two goes on, more of the same, sharp, fast, precise boxing from Demetrius Andrade, but Williams was always following him around. Williams was always trying to put on the pressure and trying to soak up the shots, but this time he gets on the wrong end of a good Andrade 1-2, bang bang, nice southpaw 1-2, and that southpaw 1-2 classic shot from Andrade just puts him down. Nice left hand, didn't even look like he put all that much into it. It's just a textbook nice right jab, left hand straight down the middle, put Williams on the seat of his pants, and definitely clearly took the second, and for me the first round for Andrade, you know. So performed good in those two, but the tide began to, I would say, although Andrade was still winning the fight, when it came to the third round, I think there may have been a clash of heads or something, but you could see that in the third round, Andrade was seemed to be a bit shaken up, seemed to be a bit hurt by a few of the punches, and possibly think clash of heads or something like that. But even coming towards the end of the third, you could see that I could definitely see that there was a bit of a change of the tide in that third round, where Andrade now looked like the one who was a little bit hurt or whatnot from a shot or head or whatever it was. In that third, I saw that although Andrade had such a good beginning, he had such a good start, he came out the blocks very, very fast and swept those first two rounds, Williams still gave a good accounting of himself in the third. He showed that he was still in the fight as we went to the third and went into the fourth. Williams was landing, although it may have been few and far between, but he was landing some good power shots, especially when it came to the fourth round. For my view and my card, I felt that Williams done quite a lot in that fourth round, landing some good hard power shots, and kind of, for me at least, he was kind of shaking Andrade up a bit. You could tell that Andrade wasn't that comfortable when it came to sort of the third, fourth round, and Williams definitely had his success. And I think he, on my, I didn't do it round by round, but I reckon on my card, if I did it, I would say the fourth round went to Williams, at least in my book. Too many good power shots, and he was one of those, he done what I would call kind of an Antonio Margarito impression when it was coming to sort of that fourth, fifth round, because he was just sort of almost running at Williams and just putting that pressure on him 24/7. He reminded me of at least loosely kind of what Margarito done to Miguel Cotto, in really chasing him down and looking at him and just not thinking about footwork at all. Yeah, so as I said, in this fight, Williams was very much reminiscent of Antonio Margarito when he boxed Miguel Cotto for the first time. Just relentless pressure, near enough running after the opposition, running after Andrade. And round 6 was kind of a difficult one, I'd say, for Andrade, because it came to the point where he was actually talking to Williams and actually complaining to the referee. I think he was even, arguing with Williams and about what Williams was doing and complaining. So there were definitely signs of weakness coming from Andrade in the 6th round, where he was complaining, yeah, cool, keep doing that, man, blah, blah, blah. You know, he seemed to be a little bit distressed in that round, but then again, he managed to turn the tide a bit. Although Williams was coming into it a bit, Andrade was able to sort of turn the tide, because what he did was he landed beautiful shot. I think it was one of those left uppercuts that he was throwing all night long, and he threw one of them, and for me, that punch, and then there was a series of other good shots, and that sort of thing swung it for me in favor of Andrade in that round, because he threw that shot and it made Williams just stand, just pause, because Williams was just really coming forward all night long. But there were certain points, and one of them was in round 6, where Williams was made to just stop in his tracks. So he's pursuing, gets lamped with that shot by Andrade, and he just stood, and it just made him freeze for a second and stop his relentless attack. And yeah, for me, it turned it from those sort of power shots by Andrade, and that slickness sort of made round 6 swing in his favor, for me at least. Round 7, again, that was more back foot boxing by Demetrius Andrade. He was on the back foot. He was always under pressure by Williams, because Williams was just pursuing, coming after him. But at the same time, Williams always had this problem of being easy to hit. And he also had the problem of the fact that Demetrius Andrade is so awkward. So although Andrade wasn't looking at his best, he wasn't looking great on the back foot, he was using this lateral movement, moving all around the place. He was bending him, his head down low, ducking low so that Williams couldn't hit him. He was moving his feet, he was dancing all around the ring, and although, yes, he was under pressure, you could see he was uncomfortable, he was making sure that Williams couldn't land anything, because Williams couldn't get to him. Although Williams was putting the pressure on him, and it was effectively tiring Andrade, the thing Andrade did, which was clever veteran moves, was use that movement to make sure that Williams couldn't land either. So Andrade made sure that, okay, yeah, you're pressuring me, you're chasing me, but I'm going to make you miss all night. I'm going to move and run around the ring, and then I'll stop, make you miss, and then bang, bang, then you pay with those few shots, and then I'm on my bike again. And he was just doing that, and that movement he was using just sort of made it so that Williams couldn't do much with him. All he could do was just follow him around the ring. He couldn't cut the ring off or nothing. He good pressure, but ineffective pressure, because he wasn't really able to land anything significant on Andrade. What he did land was always, too little, too late. So yeah, it was one of those where, Andrade was on the back foot. It was a bit negative boxing, but all the eye-catching shots, all the significant blows were coming from Andrade. And Williams was, of course, very easy to hit all night long. And he hurt him good in that 7th round with a left hand. And also round 8 was very, very similar, with Williams just following Andrade around, unable to cut off the ring at all, just following Andrade around, and then also getting countered very frequently. But although Andrade was able to land some good flush, powerful shots, Williams was always there, and I think Andrade just reserved himself and tried to preserve his energy. So he was just outboxing Williams through the rounds. Came round 8, round 9 again. It was a close round. In round 9, I had Williams clearly hurting Andrade with a good right hand where Andrade luckily was on the ropes, and you could see there was a bit of a dip in his legs when Williams just got him with a nice right hand. But for Andrade, he was in the right place, right time by the ropes, and he was able to sort of disguise it and sort of ride the shots a little bit and keep moving. And Andrade was also using something all night long, holding. And when he got caught with that shot in the 9th round, that's exactly what he was doing. He got caught with a shot, he was around the ropes, and what he done, he just grabbed hold of Williams, made them have to reset, and he was using this strategy all night long and used it very well in the 9th round. And he also snuck in his own little shots. He was also landing his own shots while you know, after being hurt. So strategic holding, good countering by Andrade, and he didn't allow Williams to take advantage of him being hurt. He still had that presence of mind. And when it came to round 10, championship rounds, Andrade was still looking very uncomfortable, as he did throughout a lot of this fight, especially the second half. Andrade looked very uncomfortable in around 10, but as he's an experienced boxer, he just kept his composure, kept pot shotting, kept making Williams miss, and still winning a round. No, you know, he was well in front by this point. You know, he knew he was still in front. Williams still looked fresh in round 10. He looked like, as one of the commentators said, he looked like he could do 15 rounds. So he looked, you know, Williams looked fresher. Andrade went on in round 11 to do a lot of holding, and he was doing a lot of pot shotting as well, just picking little shots. He used a lot of slick boxing in those championship rounds. Williams kept making him work and work and work and work, but unfortunately Williams could not capitalize on him putting the pressure on Andrade. So Williams kept bringing his pressure, but as it was in the early part of the fight, so it was in the end of the fight, where he put this pressure, followed him around, but wasn't able to land anything significant or capitalize on it. So, you know, Andrade visibly tired in round 12, and the performance overall by him wasn't impressive, but he did win it by unanimous decision. So he didn't lose many rounds at all. Some of the judges had it wide, giving Williams about 2 rounds, which is a bit much. But, you know, at the end of the day, average performance by Andrade, nothing too impressive. But at the end of the day, he comes up with the W, and what happens next for him, we don't know. He might move up to super middle or whatever. But anyway, that's just my thoughts on it. Congrats to Andrade on the win, but quite a disappointing performance overall. And until next time, ladies and gents, this is MKO Pugilism, over and out. I will catch you on the next one.